Well, he had a lot of issues. He had some social and emotional issues, and then he did fine when we lived in one county, and then when we moved to the new county, the school didn't work with us as well, so we decided that for third grade we would go ahead and keep him home and just see how it went. In the beginning, it was actually easy because he'd been in school for kindergarten for a second. He'd been in school for 3 years, and so he knew you sat down, you did your work, and all that. And then around Thanksgiving time, things got a little bit more difficult. He got a little bit more antsy. So that was a hard time. And then when I decided just to let it go and veer more towards the unschooling, it got better. It's been hard because I've always had to be home to make sure I'm home when he gets off the bus, and in the beginning he was really great with it. It seems like here recently my youngest, he's gotten a little bit more jealous of I've got Jesse at home and I've got the girls at home, so he's the only one going off to school. So I wanted to take him out, but my husband said just to let him go ahead and finish out this year, and we'll be homeschooling both of them next year. I think it's both. I mean, it is easier, and I don't feel like schools are heading in the direction that we want to go, as far as for our kids. I think they kill a lot of self-discovery, creativity. Just children, they're not allowed to question the teacher in school. They're not allowed to question, well, why is that? Well, why is that? And, the whys can be annoying occasionally, but, it's good that he's asking these questions. It's not black and white. There's shades of gray and everything, and he's learning that. And, and he can learn it at his pace and when he needs to. Online, I did some research. I didn't get a curriculum. I figured for third grade we could do workbooks and find what we needed on the internet. I didn't really start doing research until we started looking more into the unschooling aspect of homeschooling. We read a few books, and I'm still reading books, and I'm still learning, and we're both learning. Yeah. Seeing the group that we're with now, I mean, there are a lot of unschoolers, and seeing them and seeing their kids, it helped immensely knowing that, hey, it can be done. Well, I look at it, we're not as stressed. We don't have to be to school on time. We don't have which, with my youngest in school, I can't volunteer at the school because I have my older one home. The school that he's in is very strict about volunteers. You can't bring, you can't, even for snack, you can't bring a child. We can go where we want, when we want, when we homeschool. We don't have to wait for school vacation and, work around all that. I mean, I take my kids out of school when I need to, but then you have to answer to, to who? They give them so many, a certain amount of days a year that they can be absent without question. And I'm like, well, no, I mean, these are my kids. They can be absent when I need them to be absent. He and I, and it's a long process and we're still learning, but he and I have definitely learned to get along better. We've learned to deal with each other a little bit better. I've learned to let go some of my anal retentive qualities. In the beginning it was hard, and there were times where we actually thought about putting him back in school next year, just because I was having a lot of, we were stressed, he and I were stressed. But we went to the unschooling, we went to the, mom needs to back off and, kind of let things flow a little bit better. And it was mostly my side, not so much his. He's a different kid and he needs different things, and I think it would not be good for him to send him back into an environment where he has to, quote unquote, do this and do that and do, just do what they say that he has to do. his self-esteem took a dive when we moved to the county that we're in now. The last county, it was a small one class per grade school. I mean, so the teachers were wonderful, the principal was wonderful. He had issues then, but they worked with us, to make it good for him, not just for them. But here, there's no such thing. So his well-being is my priority, and his self-esteem, and I could care. He doesn't need to know as what they're teaching him at this particular point. Not right now. I mean, and half the stuff he'll forget later anyways. I mean, if you really want to try homeschooling, I don't see the point in sending them to school. But every kid's different. Every kid needs something different. Every family is different. You need to do what works for your family. I didn't think homeschooling was going to work for us, but it did. I mean, it takes work and it takes time, and but I can't see me doing anything else now. Just do it. Don't listen to the teachers. Don't listen to administration. Your child is your child. Nobody knows your child better than you do. And even if you don't know your child that well, there's no better way to learn who they are than by keeping them home. I mean, I couldn't see doing anything different now.